Good morning, guys. I just wanted to show you an example of an inner child altar that you can work on healing, different childhood wounds. So I would recommend finding an area in your house that's really comforting, in a place that you can be silent and serene and reflective, and put down different items that, really invoke introspection and peace. And then gather different items that you have that still have energetic cords to your childhood. I'm using this picture just as an example. It's best to grab a picture of yourself when you're at the age where you really feel like the damage was most done. Like this is just an example of a child, but I actually have this picture of me, and I was about 13, and this is when I feel like my wounds really, this is when the trauma really was starting to happen to me. And and so, here's another family photo of young enough to that's the age where I want to kind of go back and really do the work. So these are just examples. So what we're trying to do is kind of shift the perspective from being, wounded and kind of have lost this child in a sense, to being the adult self, you, the grown-up now, that is taking responsibility for, healing these wounds and taking care of that child. So you really want to honor that child. Children are incredibly in tune, and they're unbiased, unjaded. They haven't been fully imprinted yet, and so we want to tap into that child at that time, and grab items that really invoke those feelings around that time. This was a dog that I loved more than anything. I had her when I was little, and I grew up with her, and she passed away. And so I'm going to have these photos here to remind me of my favorite dog, Kona, as she kind of watches over my inner child healing altar. And so it doesn't have to be this long process each day, but you can kind of start articulating what happened and the areas that you really want to heal. So I felt violated. I felt alone. I felt disregarded. I felt like nobody was really there to protect me. And so whatever, start to articulate how you felt, and start feeling into those feelings of, I felt betrayed. I felt isolated. I felt like no one, I felt misunderstood. So once you can articulate the feelings, then you can start being the grown-up in the now and figure out, okay, all right, so I'm going to honor these feelings. I'm not going to run from them. I'm not going to go isolate or distract. I'm really going to sit with those and feel sorry for this child. I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to punish them anymore. I mean, look how sweet and innocent they are. Why would I continue to punish this child? No, no more punishing. We're going to love and support that child and really do things that really feel good. So tap in with that child and remember the things that really brought joy to that child. What was your favorite animal? What was your favorite color? What were the things at that time that made you feel safe and secure? And try to seek out those items. You can put them on your altar. And start thinking of ways that you, just as if this was your own child, what would you do if your own child had been traumatized and came to you and said, Mom or Dad, I was hurt. And just as if that child could articulate these things, everything that you wish that you could say to your guardian back then, you kind of start saying out loud, I should have been protected. I needed to be heard. I needed to be saved. I needed trust and security and consistency. And as the adult, we can reflect back, okay, all right, so how can I show you trust and consistency? I do the same thing each day. I set up a routine. All of the choices I make are for my highest good, and they support the emotional release. So you want to keep showing your inner child that you're here for good. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to neglect them. Children need that. Children need consistency. They need to know that you're going to be there each and every day. Just like a puppy. If you moved around with the puppy and you kept changing her environment and, giving her things and taking them away, not feeding her, putting her in the care of people who really hurt her, she might bounce back from one or two of those situations, even though it will damage her. But the consistent trauma will really hurt this puppy. She will turn vicious. She won't trust people. She might even bite and be extremely aggressive. So, it goes, it's the same for the other side. Consistency of love, consistency of niceness, tender care and integrity. That's what our inner tender child state needs. Not crazy impulsive choices that are self-destructive and, just kind of scorched earth mentality. I'm going to just move and screw this and, get the effets. And that's not good. You want to just really have the nice routine that's healing and supportive. And you want to provide this space that will allow the growth. Environment's really important. That's why, especially if some of you guys are newer to this might seem, strange, but it's really not. It's setting up the sacred space to allow the healing. The puppy could not heal if she was thrown into the pound. All the sounds and the triggers and the barking would really affect her. And so even if she sat in that environment, she'd be so scared. And it would just reinforce all the pain and the hurt of not feeling grounded or trusted or having a confidant, that one person to trust. Same thing with us. Even if in your mind you really want to heal and you do not, you want to change, that the way that you've been going, it's not supporting your highest good or growth. The environment is very important in the people you surround yourself with. Even if we had the puppy at a really healthy, beautiful home, and there was this one person who really took care of them, if there happened to be this one angry person I allowed in to her environment who would scream here and there, she wouldn't grow. She would still feel like I'm allowing this force into her environment that would trigger her and scare her. And I'm sure every time she heard the loud screaming voice, she'd take off and hide under the bed, which actually this puppy is a rescue, so she does do that. So I'm trying to provide an environment that's really supportive to her healing. And loud noises I don't do. I really try to support her, and she's doing great. She's growing and getting happy. So, it's just nice to get perspective like this sometimes and start to have compassion for that child. I think sometimes we see ourselves as, especially after trauma, I know, you see yourself as gross and not lovable and unwanted, and no matter what age, you didn't deserve that. And you weren't capable at that time to deal with the hurt. And so you want to start making amends, saying, I am so sorry that happened to you. I am so sorry, but what can I do to show you that I love you and I'm not going anywhere? And talk to yourself as if you were talking to your own child. Tell me what you need. How can I show you that you can trust me and we're doing things different now? What are examples that I can show you each day? just like my puppy. Examples of things that I do to show her that she's loved and cared for. I buy her little gifts and toys. I always make sure that she's fed consistently so that she always knows that she's going to get food and all her needs are going to get met. That's an important thing. The neglect factor is very, very big with inner child work because it's so primal. So if you neglect yourself with those basic needs, such as, healthy, bright, vibrant food on a consistent basis, getting enough water, moving your body, spending time with your spiritual source, which is, in my opinion, you have to get plugged in each day. It's like connecting to your outlet. But if you have any more questions about this, I'd love to do more videos on inner child healing and different ways that you can really love and support that inner child. I'd love to see pictures of you, in your altar. So yeah, I'd love to see some comments. Thank you so much.